Okay, so welcome to Scrolling to Death. Today, I am joined by a mom named Holly, and we're going to hear about her son Archie today. So, welcome, Holly.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, thank you for doing this. Just with the goal of educating parents on there are so many social media harms and available to kids, and you've become very familiar with one in particular. But I just want to back up and wondering if you can tell us about your son Archie.
Archie was a very fearless little boy, a very energetic little boy, absolutely amazing character, bubbly, spot on with his sense of humour, very bright, so energetic. Just his passion was gymnastics and
Oh, really?
just exercise in general, really. Absolutely inspired by his older brother, just absolute fitness mad. Wanted to be an MMA fighter.
Oh, wow.
When he grew up, he started gymnastics at 3. I put him in gymnastics mainly because he was climbing everything. So I wanted to teach him about space awareness and just keeping himself safe, really.
Could he do flips and things like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, he was part of South Essex Gymnastics Club.
Okay.
So we've done trampolining, gymnastics, MMA, kickboxing, a bit of horse riding, everything really. There's nothing he didn't try. There's nothing he didn't do. But Archie
Wow.
literally trained 5 days a week. That was his thing.
Wow. My son's just doing baseball right now. I feel like I need to get him doing more stuff.
The idea for me was to all 3 of my children. I found what their talents and their hobbies are very young, and really sort of backed them, because for me it was about keeping them off the streets, keep them safe. And here I am now.
So when did Archie get a device, and did he really want one, or was he not that interested in it?
I've always, because I'm not very good with technology. I grew up, I think I had an Atari 65 XE. That's about my level when it comes to computers. And I didn't get any of my children devices. Their dads bought them the Xbox and is it PlayStation? The PlayStation. Yeah, which obviously they played up in their bedrooms. Archie got his first phone, I believe, when he was about 9. And unfortunately, the reason Archie got a phone is because his dad wanted, we were split at this point, so his dad wanted direct contact with Archie rather than communicating with myself. I can't say that Archie was on the phone all the time, because he wasn't. In fact, his dad used to say to me all the time, he never answers the phone. And my response was, I don't encourage him to carry the phone around with him all the time. He's constantly doing his activities and his hobbies.
Yeah. It's so common. I hear from parents all the time that the reason they give that first phone is because if there are 2 separate homes, the other parent wants to be able to get a hold of them. So that's super common. And 9 is actually a really common age to be giving that smartphone as well. Were you aware when he first signed up for any social media platforms?
Naively, I totally hold my hands up. No, I wasn't aware at all. In fact, I only found out Archie had TikTok after
Okay.
the accident.
Okay. So there was no allowing him to use it. You just didn't even know he had any accounts. Okay. What did you know about TikTok beforehand? I mean, you didn't allow him to have access. So did you have any preconceived notions about it? Had you heard about it?
To be honest, my best friend, her daughters used to do the little dances and things, and I remember saying to her at the time, "Are you okay with, obviously the child's name, having TikTok?" Like, I find it a bit worrying, really, because you don't know who's watching the girls doing these little dances and things. And apart from that, I didn't really give it any more thought, to be honest.
And he had an iPhone, I assume. Okay. Did you guys use the parental controls, or did you feel like you didn't really need to? You just checked it maybe manually a few times?
I think that no, I didn't. Paul did all that for him when he gave him the phone.
Okay.
But again, I suppose I didn't have any concerns, because I never really see Archie with his phone.
Okay.
Because he's constantly, when I say this child was 24/7 active, as in all his exercises, that you'd be eating breakfast and he's on his gym bar doing pull-ups, or he's on the floor doing his sit-ups, or somersaulting off the sofa, somersaulting off the bed. He was 24/7 active.
Yeah, and I mean, that's one of the main things experts that I talk to suggest is keep your kid busy in other things, and then they won't be as addicted or have enough time to really get into the bad stuff on social media in particular. Okay, so what happened, if you could tell me whatever you're comfortable talking about, what happened to Archie on April 7th of 2022?
Okay, so Archie and I had been out for something to eat, and we then popped into Tesco's, our local supermarket. We went home, we was going to some pictures. Archie wanted to go and watch Batman, so I said, yes, we'll go and watch Batman. Needed to pop home, needed to charge my phone quickly. He was asking me if he could get a new coat, and where could he get a new coat from. So I said he'd be better off asking his brother Tom. He's sort of up there with the clothing. So as far as I'm aware, he did message Tom, and there was an exchange of links, clothing links. Arch then asked if I could order him a Nike coat, which I believe the police found in his Google search. We had searched his Nike coat, and I said, yes, can we do it after the pictures when I'm at home, and I won't forget to do it, because we're going to bed. Came in absolutely fine, came into my bedroom. He had the rabbit. We've got this beautiful, big, fluffy rabbit.
You do?
He absolutely loved it. Yeah, he loved this rabbit. And Archie come in and, the drawstring gym bags, like the PE bags for the kids over here. He had the rabbit in the bag. Straight away I knew the rabbit was in the bag. Obviously open, but he's holding it. He said, I've got you a surprise, I've got you some sweets. And I just laughed at him and I said, no, you haven't, Archie, the rabbit's in the bag. And with that, the rabbit popped his head out the bag. We both just started giggling, like really laughing. My phone rang. I said to Archie, take the rabbit back downstairs, put him away. I'm just going to take this call. Answered the call while Archie was still in my room, laughing and giggling. Archie then left my room. My phone call was 4 minutes, 23 seconds long. And, sorry.
It's okay. Take your time.
I walked out of my bedroom and literally 5 steps away from me. Archie had the ligature joined to the banister and was standing on the stairs unresponsive.
So sorry, Holly.
It's literally that quick.
Yeah. And did he have his device on him when he was doing that, or no?
No, I think the police said. So my solicitor was quite annoyed, really, that things had been moved that shouldn't have been moved. One of the ambulance crew had put Archie's phone downstairs, like on a radiator shelf. So I don't know where they found the phone.
Right. So you don't know if it was with him.
I don't think it was with him. I don't know. I know that from police investigation that Archie did watch 7 minutes of TikTok that day. That's been confirmed, and he was sent a message from TikTok an hour and a half before the incident. Because I had a 4-month hospital battle, the coins had expired, so we don't know what he's watched. I have no idea.
Okay, so you've tried to get from TikTok the historical data of his account, and they've been unwilling to provide that?
According to TikTok, so the police have confirmed, obviously, the 7 minutes of TikTok that Archie watched that day. Coins expired after 28 days, according to TikTok. So that was the first police step in, and then on further investigation, police gave over several usernames for Archie that I've managed to collect via his friends, several usernames, accounts, and now TikTok are saying they've got no accounts or anything linked to Archie, so that now they're just totally refusing.
So you have record of his usernames, multiple TikTok accounts from his friends.
Three of those accounts are still up now, but TikTok are telling us that nothing exists. They're there.
Are those accounts still accessible? Like, can you get to the profiles from the other kids' accounts?
Yes.
So you can see the front, like the front-facing profile, but TikTok's saying there's no record?
Yeah.
Okay. So they're lying? They're hiding it?
Well, it's certainly, I don't obviously want to directly accuse them of anything, but it doesn't look good that we know that they're there. Their friends are saying that that's how they communicated with Archie. They're Archie's accounts, and
Mhm.
they're there. But TikTok is saying that there's no accounts linked with Archie's email address or phone number, but they're there.
Okay. So to back up, now we jumped into talking about TikTok because TikTok is one of the platforms that has been known to serve children videos showing them a blackout challenge or the choking challenge, which has led to the deaths of thousands of children and teenagers. And so, what leads you to believe that TikTok may have introduced this challenge to him?
I think so. The night before this incident that I wasn't made aware of until we was in hospital, Archie was playing with the dressing gown belt in his sister's bedroom. So his sister and her half sister, so Lilia, the half sister, was sitting on the floor, and Archie tied the dressing gown belt to her toe. And she laughed at him and said, "Arch, what you doing?" And he shrugged his shoulders, laughed, and said, "I don't know, I'm bored." He then tied, he had it on his forehead, not over his head, on his forehead,
Mhm.
which makes me wonder, was the knot already tied on his forehead, and then started mucking about. He put it on the handles, like furniture handles, and was pulling it closed and open. And Laura, my daughter, said to him, "Archie, if you're going to keep doing that, like, get out of my bedroom," basically. So
Yeah.
he stopped. They then spent a couple of hours watching TV, absolutely fine. So I don't know. I've never seen, Archie was fearless. I can't say he wasn't a fearless child. He was always doing things that would probably alarm people, but because he was extremely confident, I think probably because of the gymnastics and his ability with obviously his somersaults and things, it's,
Mhm.
I suppose I was a bit more comfortable at him. Like, it was just like you'd be walking down the street and there's some sort next to you, it's, but
Yeah.
I can't see where else he could have possibly got these ideas from unless it's within school, moving over to secondary school. He definitely didn't take any devices to junior school. And I think when they go over to the secondary school, that's when they start to obviously get their friendship groups and want to join like WhatsApp groups and communicate, I guess, with the kids at school.
Mhm. Okay, and he was on TikTok, you said, for 7 minutes that day that he
That
died.
day, the day that he had obviously his accident, he was alive for 4 months after, but I had a hospital battle, legal
Okay.
battle to keep life supporting.
And you have connected with several other parents in the UK who lost children in the same very, very similar way, all within a few months of each other, right?
Yeah, so you've got another parent that I believe you're going to be speaking to, Ellen. Her son was 6 days after Archie, exactly the same way, feet on the ground, exactly the same as Archie, feet on the ground. Then you've got Lisa, her boy, Isaac. He was the month before Archie.
Mhm.
And there's another two on our group as well. Exactly the same way, ligature suspension. It's just, where do kids get that idea to put things around their neck like that?
Mhm.
Yeah,
And a commonality in all of their stories is that they were all active on TikTok. They were watching content on TikTok, I think more than any other platform, and I'll kind of ask the parents about that, but it's kind of hard to know because in those other cases as well, TikTok is not releasing the data from the child's account. What have you learned about this particular challenge now coming out of this? What have you learned about it from other families who have experienced this?
well, for me, the only challenges that I've ever heard of was that Archie was always doing this bottle clip challenge, and he was really good at it,
Mhm.
and it was so annoying. So it's constantly was bottle flipping over. It's like,
Yeah,
yes, he's constantly landing it.
right.
um, and the ice bucket challenge. So one thing I've definitely learned is that I didn't know these harmful challenges existed. I feel very naive as a parent. And I guess for me, what I find really hard is I've deliberately focused and spent so much time and energy, sorry,
It's okay.
keeping my kids off the streets, keep them safe. And here we are. I've lost my child through something that's actually happened in his own home.
And that is what is kind of happening everywhere is we're overprotecting our kids in the physical world and
Mhm.
underprotecting them because we don't
100%.
know. You didn't know. And so what do you want to make sure parents know about this and do from here?
I think for me, my biggest advice now is when you give your child that mobile phone, you are inviting a billion strangers into your own home. And would you allow your children to talk to or communicate with even a fraction of the people that you see on the streets today? Of course you wouldn't, but by giving them the mobile phone, that's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah. And these companies are prioritizing content to them that gets a lot of views, and the algorithms that these companies create aren't worried about harming your kid. They just want views and
Profit
engagement
and
and
views.
profit. Correct.
And I think for the children, it's all about the likes, isn't it? How many likes they've got, and I'm sorry, and how many friends they've got, and it's like a popularity thing.
Yeah. I spoke with Joanne Bogard this morning, who lost her son Mason at 15 to the choking challenge a few years ago. And she goes on YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok nearly every day and finds these videos of kids trying this challenge, and she reports them. And almost none of them get taken down. And she says there's kids that will do it multiple times. Like, it's kind of this high because they get a lot of engagement. And so they'll do it again and again. And um, there's a false sense of security when you watch a video and you see another kid doing something and they wake up and it seems safe. And our young kids, trust that. And who are they to think that that doesn't even cross their mind that that could be a deadly experience. And so when it comes to preteens and teens kids making mistakes, like, they should be allowed to make mistakes. But when you introduce the kind of harms that are accessible on social media, those harms can be deadly. And so I just am so grateful that you are open to sharing this story and educating parents who are listening to have these conversations with their child. And, some parents might say, like, I'd be afraid to introduce this topic to my child because I wouldn't want them to try it. What would you say to that?
I think for me, when I found out that another parent, Lisa,
Yeah.
Isaac's mum, 15 minutes down the road to me,
Wow.
she had lost her child, the same. And then obviously, then Ellen's joined our bereaved online safety group as well. And she's done the same as Archie 6 days later.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I just think that had I have known about these challenges earlier, maybe I would have been more on top of what he was looking at on his phone, or because my guess is obviously I don't know until I get that data, which isn't looking very promising at the moment. But
Mm-hmm.
because of the sort of things that Archie writes, when it comes to like somersaults and daring things,
Mm-hmm.
my guess is this algorithm, now learning what I know, would have been full of this sort of stuff, and had I known how TikTok worked, or even that Archie was on TikTok, I most definitely would have been having this conversation with him and
Mm-hmm.
like what the dangers were,
Yeah.
but now it's too late. And Lisa and I both do these school workshops that we go into the workshops, and we get so much feedback from the parents, and the parents it's hitting differently because we've got two mums up there in front of us that have lost their children. It's hitting differently than reading a load of online safety stuff,
Yeah.
So for Lisa and I think sharing these stories, if we can save anyone going through what we've been through, then turning our pain into purpose is worth it.
Absolutely. And you're saving other children's lives by sharing. And last question I didn't ask yet was, did his phone show that he was active on any other social media platforms?
He had the WhatsApp and he had Snapchat. His YouTube's totally disappeared, but his friends have given me they've said that he was on YouTube.
Okay.
But all the data seems to it's gone. There's no trace of him, and we don't know the YouTube like usernames or anything.
Another reminder for parents that Apple devices are built for adults, and they're very hard for parents to manage and get access to. The kids can hide things so easily. And then in cases like this, where a child has passed away, it is nearly impossible to get access to any of their data. And so luckily, parents of today now have like kid safe devices like Bark and Gab, Pinwheel, TrueMe. And I don't know what's available in the UK, but there are certain ones available in different countries. So I just encourage parents to look up a child safe device where you can really limit what they have access to and get alerts if they get something served to them that could be harmful. So, anything else you want to share with parents, Holly?
I think just really be on top of what your kids are watching and who they're talking to. You know, Archie, he did used to play, which he copied his brother, I guess, the Fortnite, and they've got the earphones on, haven't they?
Yeah.
And when you're walking past like these things like Minecraft, you know, as a parent, you just walk past, see a very innocent child animated thing on the screen. They've got their earphones on and obviously talking to their friends by you don't know who they're talking to. Lisa and I, especially Lisa, she's been reporting since 2023 some really harmful breath play stuff, and it's still up. It still hasn't been taken down yet. It clearly violates. You know, it's not safe. It's breath play, and that's another thing. I think if your children are using words like "I can make myself pass out," um, "I can hold my breath," anything to do with breath play, I think is a huge red flag and something to definitely sit your child down and have that conversation with them.
Okay. Yeah. Breath play. Okay. So talking to them about any holding breath challenges, breathing, because Joanne described some of the ones to me, and it's nothing we would ever think that would be available and be available and kids trying these kind of things. But
Well, when I grew up, because I'm really not tech minded at all. So I can work my Facebook and do emails, but that's about it. So for me to actually go into a phone and know what I'm doing with it, or a computer and know what I'm doing with it, I'm naive to that, and I totally hold my hands up to that. And as a working single mum, I wouldn't to have time to sit down and learn all this stuff as well. You know, it's hard.
it's hard. It's hard, and that's why I always say, just to parents whose kids don't have devices yet, just delay as long as possible. Because if once you give it, it's so much more work than just delaying. And sure, they may be left out and the only kid in their class that doesn't have it, but I promise you're going to struggle more once you give it than they're struggling now by being
Most
the only
definitely.
one. So,
And I think parents are very much, I think, whereas it used to be this thing when your children go to senior school about peer pressure, I think
yeah.
it's very much now the parents are peer pressured to get the kids the devices to start with. If you don't get your kids the device, then your child potentially could get bullied at school.
Mm.
So we're peer pressured into making sure that our kids have got everything that other kids have got.
Yeah. And the thing though, they might get bullied at school, but then they can come home and leave the bullying at school. They can get away from it if they don't have a device. But if they do have the
Exactly.
device, that bullying is going to follow, whatever's happening is going to follow them home. And all of those harms are going to be pushed at them. And so, delaying is important, but also, like you said, the conversations. So talking to your kids about it. And I mean, I just talked to my 7 and 9-year-old in the car this morning about challenges around holding your breath and putting something around your neck. And I don't feel uncomfortable having those conversations. I don't feel like they're going to go try it now. I explained to them that I'm talking to some moms today who actually lost their children to this, and it is not safe. So if you ever see that, we cannot try it. And we can have those conversations without worrying about them, being curious about it. It's better we introduce it than they see it and think it's safe in a feed on.
Yeah, I think open transparency is very important.
Yeah.
I had a extremely good relationship with all of my children. My children very openly spoke to me, which is why I didn't think in a million years that this could happen to me. And I think getting that across, it doesn't pick and choose. It can happen to anybody.
Yeah.
And all us parents, everything that, like, the one thing we've all got in common is we was all in the house. It happened in the house. We're in the
So
house with our
fast.
children. 5 steps away from me, Archie was.
Do you feel now like social media is safe for kids at any age?
No, I don't.
Me either. I just I can't justify it. The little bit of benefit, the teeny bit of benefit that I might be able to even offer does not outweigh all of the harms and the addiction and all the things, the data privacy and all the issues. So Holly, thank you so much for introducing us to
Thank
Archie
you.
and telling us this story today. keep me posted on the lawsuit. So you and three other families have filed a lawsuit against TikTok. And what are you hoping to happen? I guess my last question: what are you hoping to happen through this lawsuit against TikTok?
I think to retrieve data to highlight that profit should not be coming for children's safety. Where are the safeguarding of these children here? You've got safeguarding in every other aspect of life. Why is there no safeguarding protecting our children?
Mm-hmm.
The internet can be amazing. It can be very educational, but you've got this very sinister, also that almost Masonic side to it, where it's grooming our children, it's brainwashing our children.
And we can make change through lawsuits, also through legislation, but legislation has been slow, especially here in the US, especially in countries like Canada. Through lawsuits, we can force change and awareness for parents. And so it takes the courage and bravery of parents like you to let us all know what's actually happening and literally saving lives in the process. So, Holly, thank you so much for sharing and for everything you're doing. I know this is so hard to have to relive this. And once this goes live, you're going to have more and more opportunities to share. And I just really thank you for the strength and being able to do that.
Thank you.
I'll be the great Superman, and I'm only one call away. Call me, baby, if you need a friend. I just wanna give you love. Come on, come on, come on, girl, you can come. Just take a chance. No matter where you go, you know you're not alone. I'm only one call away. I'll be there to save the day. Superman got now, and I'm only one call away.